Hi there, I'm Owen, and today we're going to be doing a bit of prehab and rehab for our yoga practice. It's not so much a class in the typical sense, but we're going to be working on our wrists to allow them to stay healthy, to allow us to stay active in both our yoga practice and other activities that we may partake in. So we spend a lot of time in yoga weighting the wrists, compressing on the wrists, be that in plank positions like chaturanga, in downward dog, or alternatively even just in tabletop position. It's surprising how much that can take its toll over time. So today there's just a few exercises that we can do to help keep them healthy, to help keep them moving, and to help limit any strain that we can put on them. So we're going to start off just by bringing the thumbs towards the palms, allowing the fingers to close over the thumbs into a fist type shape. We then can do some nice rotations. It doesn't matter if they're rotating out or rotating in. They could be going in opposite directions to each other. They could be going in the same direction. Just allowing a few rotations here. Not rushing, but trying to accentuate that opening. And then we'll bring that to a halt and go in the opposite direction. So again, it doesn't matter which way we started, as long as we oppose it on the opposite direction, then we're all fine. And then from there, we can remove the thumb from the fingers, maybe just spreading our fingers out nice and wide for a second. Then interlacing the fingers with the palms together in front of us. We're going to push away with the palms, bringing them out in front of us, straightening through the arms, and then slowly draw those hands up above us. So this should open really nicely through the wrists in a more conventional sense. It should feel really good through the fingers as well. As we push and lengthen through the arms above us, and slowly bring those hands back down towards the chest, bringing the palms then face us. And we're going to repeat that in the opposite way now. So we'll allow the palms to face us, extending through the arms in front of us again, bending and flexing at the wrist, and slowly draw them back up above our head. Try to really lengthen through the body here as we sit up nice and tall. So this might be the more intense option for us here, where we're opposing what we would typically do in yoga and generally day to day, where we're opening through the wrist in the opposite way. So we lower those hands then down. You can release the hands, maybe having a bit of a shake out through the wrists. We're going to then come into a tabletop position. And these are going to be the more intense openers, but they're also sometimes the more effective as a result of that. We want to make sure that we're not overdoing it with our wrists. They're delicate areas of the body, very technical areas of the body regarding the composition and the anatomy side of things. So making sure we don't push it too far. If it goes from discomfort into pain, then we'll make sure that we come out of the pose as soon as that happens. So we'll swing those legs out to the side or roll over the feet, stacking those wrists and shoulders, spanning the fingers out nice and wide, knees and hips in alignment, toes can point behind us, they could be curled under, whatever feels best for you again. And then from there, we're going to bring those hands slightly towards us. So we're coming with the hands about another hand's length, if you will, so that we're slightly leaning over those wrists. And then we're going to do some light pulsing. So we'll lean over the hands lightly and then rock back. So nice and slowly leaning forwards, get a little bit of compression in the wrist. Rocking back again to release that compression. We don't want to force this to be too intense. It's more of a, as I say, prehab type movement that we want to do. This is also going to help our range of motion. So if we are to practice things like handstands, as an example, this can actually make quite a significant difference in our ability to achieve them. Do one more pulse, going forwards, going back, and then we'll come back into a tabletop position where we're bringing those hands back, forward slightly so the wrists are stacked beneath the shoulders, and then rotating the hands outwards 90 degrees so the fingers are pointing out to the sides. And a bit like before, we're going to have some pulses here. We're going to go over to the left, moving the upper body over to the left, over to the right. Slow and steady opening through the wrists here. Not forcing. We don't need very much pressure to open through the wrists. They're delicate, highly mobile areas of the body. A bit like with our shoulders, a bit like with our knees, our hips, our ankles, so being careful not to push it too far. We'll do one more on each side and then come back to center. we can rotate those hands back to a neutral, natural position, fingers pointing forwards. So with this next option, we've got two ways to do it. One's less intense than the other, but we're getting the same type of stretch in both hands. We're going to oppose what we're doing here in the more natural position by bringing our right hand off to start with, and then having the fingers point behind us, the back of the hand coming down. This is going to put a lot of pressure on the wrist in a less strengthening way. So it's going to be a less natural way to do this. Some of us may start with just one hand with the fingers pointing behind us and introduce that nice slow rocking again, that pulsing. While others may feel comfortable being careful to come with both hands down, fingers pointing behind us, and then gently pulsing back to intensify, coming forwards to come to a more neutral position and softer position. Slowly going forwards and back, backwards and forwards. And this is likely going to be the most intense sensation for us. This is where a lot of the opening is going to be really beneficial, whereas opposing what we typically would do. But that being said, like any movement, any pose, any sequence, we want to be careful to build up slowly. So we might only go back very lightly here, and that's okay. There's no rush. If we've been going for one hand at a time, we can just go on to the other hand now. Lightly going forwards and back. Trying to release some of that compression of which we put our body weight through those arms and wrists quite frequently. Do a couple more nice pulses here, slow and steady, not overdoing it. And then we'll drop back once more. Come back to a neutral position and carefully and slowly bring those hands back down. Really going slow here. That's going to feel quite intense. We don't want to push it too far too soon. We can swing those legs at the sides or roll back over the feet. Coming back into a seated position. Allowing ourselves to just bring those hands back in a nice rotation. The thumbs could be outside of the fingers, they could be clasped into the hands with the fingers surrounding them. Just a few rotations again like before, maybe feeling a significant difference. And this is something that we could do daily. It's something that we could do as a warm-up before we do a more vigorous practice where we're weighting the hands a lot, be that again a handstand practice, if that's going to be a tabletop based practice, downward dog. It can be really, really beneficial. Keep a healthy wrist, healthy joints as a result. It's a slightly different practice today, not quite the typical lesson style, class style, but hopefully it's something that you can take away into your home practice, not only in my classes, but into the yoga studio near you, and hopefully you enjoyed as a result. So thank you very much for joining me today. If you wish to subscribe, that'd be really, really appreciated. There's 81 people as I filmed this video that have done to follow me on this journey of online teaching, and hopefully I'll see you again. All the best, and thank you for joining me today.